Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having an awesome day. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Lovestruck collection from Colourpop. This has 5 little itty bitty eyeshadow palettes. I was dying for these when I first saw them announced because there's something about them that is like obviously a different shape for Colourpop. They are like little Natasha Denona dupes from Colourpop. These are $10 each or $42 for the set with a $50 value. So $10 each for these or $42 for all of them. And they're just so cute. So we have 5 little eyeshadow palettes today. We're going to talk about each one, what I think of the color scheme, as well as if I have a palette that I think has similar colors in it from Colourpop. I'm going to compare them. And then we'll also do a 2 looks. So I've already done a look using the Ballad palette, which is the one on my eyes right now, which is this look, which is just a nice silvery moment. And I thought it was so pretty. And then this morning I did a look for my video on my skin condition, which was the Lyric palette, which was a really cute look as well, but it was very subtle. So the other 3 palettes I have not used yet are Crush, which is this one. Well, I guess I should thoroughly show you this one. These 2 are already used. Ballad, Lyric, Crush. Actually, this was like the first one I saw announced on Instagram. I thought it was really cute for being an orange palette. We have Cherish, which looks a lot like their new wine collection, which I have to compare. And then lastly, we have Amore, which is my least favorite because it's just kind of purples. But now let's get into it. We're going to start breaking down what I think of each one of these color schemes, and then we'll do 2 looks together. Alright guys, so Colourpop already has a lot of affordable palettes. These are like their cheapest palettes now because technically their other cheaper palettes are like $12 to $14. These are $10, which is their cheapest palettes yet, and they are dupes for Natasha Denona little mini palettes. I have a couple Natasha Denona mini palettes. I think I have 3, but I do not have any that are dupes for these palettes in particular, but the packaging style is very similar. And I think it's on purpose, but that's, I mean, it's cool, it's different and everything. So let's start off talking about the one I started off using, which is Lyric, which is the kind of nude one. Now to me, I don't like pressed glitters, but I thought this pop of pressed glitter in the center here was an absolutely beautiful choice for this palette. I thought it was really, really pretty, except I don't really use it myself, but some people do, so I feel like this is a really good fitting thing. First off, when I looked at this online, not in person, I thought that's taupe. I thought that's taupe palette. So I have the That's Taupe palette to compare, and honestly, they're nothing alike. This is much warmer in color, but online they looked very similar. So here are the 2 palettes compared to each other. This one is way more cool toned, and this one's way more orangey. This shade is semi-similar to this one right here, but again, different shades. So I don't think there is another palette in the Colourpop collection that comes to mind that makes me think of this one. So I think this one is kind of a new thing for Colourpop. Next up is Ballads, which is the one I have in my eyes today, and I actually really love this look with this lip color. I'm really feeling this. Like, I wish my hair was how I wanted, but you guys, like, I loved how the look came out. And Ballad, so the only one that I can think of that would be similar from Colourpop would be the Blow and Smoke, or I guess it's now called Smoke and Only or something. But honestly, there is no other palette from Colourpop that has the exact same things as it. I have the Stone Cold Fox palette for comparison, but that has a ton of shades in it, so I don't really think it's similar. So this is my Stone Cold Fox palette. I did depot it, but these are the colors inside, and then here is the Ballad palette. Honestly, there's a couple of similar shades like the gray and such, as well as like the kind of orangey taupe. It's just a taupe shade, honestly. But honestly, I love the differences in these 2 palettes. Stone Cold Fox is honestly probably one of the best palettes that came out at the end of last year, and it was so beautiful. I use it all the time. But I think this is kind of a unique color scheme. What I love about this is it's not just black and gray or white. I mean, I wish there was a white in here. I love that these are kind of like an off, like a creamy kind of taupey kind of moment with the gray and the kind of black, with the black has glitter in it. So for me, this one's unique too, and I quite enjoy the color scheme. Next up is Crush, and there is nothing that similar to Crush from Colourpop. I have the Orangey Glad palette, but totally different shades of orange. This one is much more subtle and deeper. These are more neon and bright and has like a little bit of like the pinky tones to it. So these are completely different palettes, and this will be one that we're using for tutorials momentarily. Next palette is Cherish, which is this one. I love these tones. I don't love pink, right? But I love a winey kind of color or like a mauve. So this I thought was really, really pretty. But I do have the Wine and Only palette, which came out really not that long ago, and I just reviewed it. But here is the Wine and Only palette compared to Cherish. These are very similar. I can see this shade right here, right in the center of the Wine and Only palette. I do think there's some differences, especially with these 2 lighter shades here. And I don't think there's an exact dupe for this shade. This shade is much more muted than anything in the Wine and Only palette. But you definitely could get the kind of same effect from this palette. But this one is cheaper. if you're more interested in this one, it has lighter tones to it too, in case you don't want something so dark like this, but they are kind of similar. And the last palette for comparison is Amore, which is the purpley pinky one, which is mostly purple, and I do actually kind of like that pop of glitter in the center, even though I don't wear glitter myself. Again, I just think it really makes the palette really stand out. The only palette I had to compare that kind of looks semi-similar from Colourpop is the Flutterby palette, which I love because it has gray tone purples, and I don't really love purple. Like, I could see myself wearing this, maybe not the last shade, because they're lighter, and that's exactly why I love this palette. But these are the palettes beside each other, not very similar at all. Maybe the top shade in this palette, the Amore palette, but definitely not even the glitter is the same. So I don't think there's a dupe for this one as well, even though they do have a couple purple standalone those little monochromatic things. The tones are just different in general. And I guess I'll go ahead and do a look with this one as well, since I needed to do 2 looks. I don't know, I just love this gray one. I want to do another gray one, but you've already seen something with this one. So today we're going to be using the Crush palette and the Amore palette from this collection to do tutorials with and give examples of looks. And then I just have to use this one, and I'll have to use the entire collection. And let's go ahead and get to the first look, you guys. Let's get started with the Crush palette. Alright guys, starting off, we're doing the look with the Crush palette, which is the kind of orangier one. So here it is up close. And we're going to start off with the lightest matte shade, which is Bow, just to put it underneath of my brow bone area and kind of set that area. I don't have like a full eyelid primer on today. I just have some concealer on my lid because we're just doing halo eye. Oh, this is way too dark for my skin tone under there. It's fine. So I do have concealer on my lid, but I don't have like a actual eyelid primer. I'm not worried about it lasting too long because I am doing makeup more than once today. But yeah, I have something on my lid. Nothing would be too dry. Okay, wiping off the brush now, I'm going to go into Love, which is LUV, which is this one right here. It's the orangey shade. And I'm also going to tap a little bit into, oh, I can't read that word, Cherub. So we're dipping into both of these shades here. Tap off my excess, and I'm just going to start the kind of halo thing. So I'm going to put it on everywhere in my crease except for the center. I'm going in the lid too with this. Just making like a dome shape with it. I think it's pretty straightforward how to do a halo eye these days, but just in case. Alright, so I actually thought that this shade right here was a shimmer. It just happens to be a matte with a ton of glitter in it. This is the only shimmer in the palette. So I'm going to take this matte with glitter in it, Struck, and that's the shade I'm going to put on the inner and outer portion of my lid. Just avoiding the very center. Has some glitter in it, so it's giving me a little bit of reflect in there. But I totally thought it was a 2 shimmer palette. My bad. I do like the kind of warm tone of that. Also, the other shades blended really easily, so no complaints about that. Alright, I'm not even going to bother doing like a cut crease canvas or anything in the center because it's fine. I'm going to take the other end of this brush now, go into Arrow, which is the only shimmer in this palette. This brush is dry, so it picked up pretty well. Let's see how it applies now. Right in the center. I think this could have been a more dramatic halo eye if this last shade was darker. Like, they're all decently similar, which you kind of expect in this kind of monochromatic-ish palette. But I wish like either the shimmer shade popped more, or the darker shade was really dark and deep. But applied dry, the shimmer is still really pretty. Just want a little bit more dimension. Like, I really want like a deep dark shade or like a pop of a shimmer from this palette. But other than that, the quality of the shadows that we use, which is all of them now, it's really nice. So here is the top lid. For the lower lash line, I'm just going to wipe off the shimmer on the other side of this brush. Go into Love, which is the orange. We'll just do the orange one. And I'm just going to dust on the lower lash line. Nothing too dark under here. Oh, and for the outer portion, I'll just go into a little bit of the Cherub shade. Just darken up the outer portion of the lower lash line, but I don't want anything crazy down here. Alright guys, this is the finished look using the Crush palette from Colourpop. Here is the look up close. I think it's really cute, really simple. All the colors kind of smushed together nicely, which I enjoy, but also, again, want a little bit more of differentiation in my shades, like whether it's a pop of highlight shade or a shimmer shade or a deeper, darker matte shade at the end. I would appreciate that about it. I also added a Colourpop Lippy pencil, which I'm not used to wearing. It's very comfortable though. And then the Peach Fuzz Waterline eyeliner from Colourpop. So this is the finished look. Let's move on to the next one then. All right, hello. I just took a shower, so my hair is a mess, but I do not like brushing it when it's kind of wet because, you know, that makes your hair fall out apparently. So we're gonna do the purple look. Now, I haven't thought about what I want to do for this look. I'm very tired today, so I think I'm just gonna wing it. Here again is the little purpley palette Amore up close, which is kind of pinky purpley, but let's go ahead and get started. So the skin of my eyelids is very dry right now because my skin is going through it. Once again, I don't know, I'm hoping all this like terrible skin cracking, painful, hurty skin stuff stops when it gets warmer outside. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm gonna take the Passion, which is the lightest matte shade, on this little double-ended motor brush, and I'm just gonna tap this over the crease to start off with, and then I'll get started with some actual colors. Ooh, this is darker on the eyelid than I expected. So I really wish that this shade, instead of being a matte with glitter and it was the shimmer for the palette, the shimmer is this shade and this is the glitter. I'm not gonna use the glitter because I'm not trying to make a mess, okay? I still have to do my face another time in a couple hours, so I'm not gonna make a mess with glitter on my face. I'm gonna use the one shimmer for this look. So obviously this is my favorite color in the palette, which is the Romeo pinkish purpley shade with glitter in it. But I think I'm just gonna skip it because the darker shimmer is the one we're gonna use for the shimmery lid. So I'm gonna take Darling, the darkest purple shade, and just buff this everywhere over the crease. And then we'll just throw the other shade on the lid. A really simple purple look. There's something about these palettes that is so freaking cute and I absolutely adore. But it's like the wrong shade is the shimmer for this one. And the other one I was like, I really wanted a darker matte shade for that. I don't know, I feel like there's a little things here and there kind of off with these color schemes that can make them absolutely perfect. Now with my finger I'm going into, it looks like V/00, which I don't really know what that means, but it's the shimmer. I'm just gonna put it on with my finger all over the lid. Yeah, unless you like really deepen up that other shade that's all over my crease. Like, the shimmer is just so dark for this look. Isn't it just so dark? Like, I feel like the color scheme is just not executed to the best of its abilities. Neither is this eye look, but I'm tired. Since the top is kind of heavy, I'm going to take that Romeo shade we couldn't use before with the little smudger side of this brush. It's very small. I'm going to tap off my excess, but just going to dust this under there. It's kind of like a medium pinky purpley shade. Alright guys, this is the last look using the Lovestruck collection. This is the Amore palette from Colourpop. Here is the look up close. It's really just simple. It's just pink and then some darker purple shimmery stuff on the lid. Honestly, this looks fine. It's not really something I'm into. I kind of wanted to put a pinky lip with it just to kind of match it, but it's not really my normal color scheme at all. But overall, what I think of the collection as a whole is it's really cute. I think I would tweak one or two things here and there, like I said, about the color schemes. Like for the orange palette we used, the crushed one, I would love to see a really darker matte in there. I would like to see like a brighter shimmer, like maybe this kind of color in this palette. The Ballad one, the gray kind of tones, I absolutely love. The Lyric one, which is kind of like the more taupey nude kind of tones, I absolutely love. And then the kind of wine colored red one we didn't use today looks a lot like the Wine and Only palette, which is why I didn't use that one in today's video, but it is really pretty color scheme overall. So overall, I think it's one of their best collections that I've seen in a while. It's super pretty to me. I'm really into it, and let me know what you guys think down below. Which one is your favorite? And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye guys, have a great day.